New Yorker, Long Island native.
I am.
Yeah. So take us back in time, and then we'll get into the book, which, by the way, is fabulous.
Thank you.
How did you realize that you could communicate with the no longer living?
Well, I actually went to debunk a psychic that was doing readings at my grandmother's house.
Okay.
And I wanted to prove to my family that she would not be able to do to me what she did to them.
Okay.
And she freaked me out. She
Really?
completely changed my life.
And you had no experience with it up until that point?
Not really. I mean, I did, but I just didn't know that it was that. Like,
Okay.
I didn't know that I was being psychic. I just called it common sense or logical. And then after the woman, like, gave me information that was undeniable, like, there's no way. It felt like a violation, to be honest. I didn't really love it. So if
A
you,
lot of people get freaked out.
yeah, I got beyond freaked out. I felt violated. So I kind of feel like if you've ever been robbed, you put in an alarm system. I wanted to figure out how she did this so nobody else could ever do it again. So I started studying the subject matter. And she originally told me at the beginning of the reading that the reason why she was there that day was to put me on my path so I could change the way millions of people looked at her field. She sounded crazy.
Wow.
And I was only 15 at the time, so.
So, you know, you have been solving some of like the biggest unsolved crimes, which you talk about in Chasing Evil,
Right.
which is page one riveting.
Thank you.
Tell us about it. Take us through the process.
So you might find this shocking, but over the course of doing this work, you meet people who are skeptical.
Of course.
Just a wee bit.
Just a wee
and,
bit.
And one of them happened to be an FBI guy by the name of Robert Hilland, who heard me here in New York on local
Right.
radio
Right.
a number of times and decided that he didn't like that I did this and was going to take me down. And came to me under the guise of a very real missing persons case. And I wound up helping him on that case. I also wound up reading for him. But he did to me, he came to me in the way that I
He
went to
came
the
to
woman.
debunk the whole
Yes,
thing.
like he
And-
brought articles that were connected to the case.
Okay.
And then he also went around to women in the office and took things from them and brought them all as evidence to try to set me up.
And you quickly.
You filtered through all the
I was
nonsense.
able to filter
Yes.
through that wasn't connected and
So-
this is the
Yeah.
case.
So tell us, take us through the process, which is so fascinating, how you delineated what was the stuff, you know, how it was like speaking to you.
So everything has energy, right? We're all energy, and there's something that's called psychometry. And psychometry is where you could read an object, and there's two different types. There's objective psychometry and subjective psychometry.
Okay.
So I was doing objective psychometry. So for anybody that's going for a mediumship reading, don't ever give the medium a photo of somebody who's passed or an object of what belongs to the person, because you can actually connect with the energy of the person, and it sounds like it's accurate, but it's not an actual communication. No medium needs that. So I was kind of feeling the energy of what was connected to the case. And it was able to say, oh, these feel similar, these four things do not. And then I wound up getting information about him. So I did to him what Lydia Clark did to me, which was give him information that I could not possibly know because he didn't know it. And he had to ask his parents.
And did that freak him out?
That freaked him out enough to bring him back again, to be like, okay, like, what is this? And I openly say, like, I did not work for the FBI. I worked for the BOB, because his name is Bob. So I kind of feel like, you know, and I didn't solve anything. In the same way that if I read for a client, I can't fix their grief. I can help them on that journey, and they could utilize that in their lives. And that's what he did. He solved his own cases. This information helped him on that path.
And this case was the case of John Smith, a serial
Much of the book
Yes.
Yeah.
revolves around this serial killer.
Yes, where both of his wives went missing. And there's a whole lot of detail. There's like a transformation
Sure.
that this man goes through. And I think that anybody reading Chasing Evil is going to actually feel for Bob and all the nameless, faceless folks that are out there trying to protect us in the world that we're currently living in.
And was John Smith eventually convicted?
He was.
Wow.
He was.